Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the Soap Thing Project, Soap Thing Thoughts, Episode 3. Joining me today is Carlitos of Carlitos Shaves. Welcome to the project.
How are you doing, Ben? Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm doing swell. It is about 03 in the morning for me, so getting up, well, I've been up. I'm still working night shift, probably until January or February, but it's starting to quiet down out here until about 15 minutes ago. There was a huge block party going on right outside my window. So thankfully it kind of toned down a little bit.
Wow.
So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about your background and how you turned shaving into a YouTube channel? I'm sure a lot of people are curious to hear that.
Well, thank you very much for asking, Ben. A little bit about my background. As I think I heard from you, I think we were kind of similar because I'm ex-military and used to shave every day because part of the job. Um, but I've been curious about the classic wet shaving. I don't know, activity, if you might want to say that, because my father used to have single edge razors, and also my grandfather. But because when you are young and whatnot, you just like to do things quick. You don't want to overcomplicate yourself. So I started using the basics, Gillette, Good News, plastic razors, cartridge ones. But it struck me when I was deployed in Afghanistan in 2009 that I saw a Navy chief shaving with a Gillette Tech and a single edge razor. And he started doing the ritual uh, of shaving with a shaving brush, doing face lathering, even lathering with his hand. He was using some tube paste soap. I don't remember what was the brand. I think it was Leah from Spain or something that he acquired. But he told me that there were other soaps or whatnot. So I was curious because back then I was shaving with a cartridge and also electric razor. It was quick, early in the morning, and then he gifted me Gillette Tech, but he
Really?
told
That
me,
was
well,
nice of him.
yeah. So it wasn't a brand new one, but it was one decent one. He had two of them. He had one that he used it in a backup, so he probably gifted me the backup. And he also offered me to give me one of his brushes. He said, "You can buy it in DPX, but I can give you one of. I have two too." So I have Surrey shaving brush, which is one of the cheapest one. I don't know what's the. I think it's a Vander Hagen now acquired them, or they sell it under the same name. And I began from there, but I started like practicing the thing. We're talking about 2010, 2010. And first time I shaved, I cut myself, not not something that I was very proud of because I didn't know the angles or whatnot. But then I stopped because I think I had I was thinking to myself I need some time to develop some technique or whatnot, and then I started all of a sudden I started seeing stuff on YouTube, wet shaving videos, and some content producers, and I got interested, and this was way, late 2013, beginning of 2014. And then from there I started, getting more and more into the hobby. I went to Italian barber and got a couple of soaps, a couple of blade packs, and from there it just was, you know um, was just a rabbit hole, like everybody says. And when the pandemic hit back in 2020, then I decided I have already acquired some stuff. And I think I'm pretty good at it. So I decided to make my first video on YouTube and start creating content. And that's pretty much where I am. I took a pause late 2021, and then just recently, like 2 or 3 months ago, I started doing videos again.
Well, it's nice to have you back. Yeah, your wet shaving history is substantially similar to mine. In early 2017, I was at an antique shop and just stumbled onto a Gillette Tech, and I was like, I wonder if I can actually shave with this, and I wonder if it would be any better than what I'm currently using because I was getting okay shaves with cartridge razors, but I was wondering, I wonder if these safety razor things, if they can do it any cheaper. So I picked up a Gillette Tech, and I don't know why I had my head in the sand so much, but I knew you could get safety razor double edged blades online, but I didn't know that you could get brand new razors for
Yeah,
whatever reason. It just didn't occur to me that you could do that.
yeah.
So I shaved with Gillette Techs for a while, picked up Slim Adjustable that was in good shape, started using that. And then in 2018, I deployed to southern Spain for 6 months. I mean, the deployment was a joke. I think I spent more time downtown in Sevilla than I did actually working. But that's when I discovered Leah and Mearsal. And so I stayed on that for quite a long time. And it was that's when it really turned into, I don't want to say it turned into a hobby, but that's when I really decided I think this is how I'm going to shave for the rest of my life because it was comfortable. Leah is fantastic stuff. I swear by that stuff.
Mhm.
And I used it for 6 months while I was over there. I got me a Edwin Jagger of some variety. I don't remember what it was. I no longer have it. And then shortly thereafter, I got into Razor Rocks, and it just kind of snowballed from there. The topic that we picked, well, you told me to kind of take the available topics and throw them into a random generator, and so I did, and it came back with utilitarian shavers versus hobbyist shavers. So we're going to talk about a little bit about what differentiates one from the other and what those two sets of people might prioritize. So if I were a utilitarian shaver, let me approach that from a different angle. I think if you have, some people are gonna hate me for saying this one, but I think if you have more than three of anything, you're a hobbyist. I think anything below that, you pretty much just all you care about is where the rubber meets the road. Well, once you start getting into 3, 4, 5, 6 shaving soaps, aftershaves, brushes, and things like that, I think it turns into your priorities are a little bit different than somebody who just wants to get a comfortable shave and move on with their day. What do you think?
You are totally right. If you put yourself 10 years ago, I probably swear that you did not buy different cans of shaving goo. Like, for example, you didn't buy like Gillette Foamy and then buy a Noxema shave foam and then buy just for the heck of it because you wanted to shave with Noxema on Mondays and then on Tuesdays Gillette Foamy Red and then on Wednesday Gillette Foamy Mint. You just shave with whatever you had until it was depleted and then throw away your cartridge or your plastic razor, and that was it because it was just to get the job done and get done with it and put some aftershave, some aqua belva, whatever you had on hand, and that's it. And you're so spot on if you have three or more, you need to look yourself in the mirror and say, this is a hobby.
Right. Let's break that down for a moment. I mean, I think somebody who uh, isn't trying to just blast through it like it's a pain in the butt. They want a comfortable, satisfying, refreshing shave. I don't think it's unreasonable to have two or three different, scents, one for the summer, one for the winter. So you got your, Prorazzo green for the summertime, your Prorazzo red for the winter time, and then you've maybe got Saponavicio Veracino to treat yourself. And then, razors, you probably got something for a daily shaver and then something to shave off a week's worth of growth for if you find yourself in that position, and then probably something maybe a little bit more expensive again to treat yourself. And then, brushes, you might have a badger or a boar, and then you've got a synthetic for when that becomes necessary, and then maybe one other one for that's got sentimental value. And then the same thing for aftershaves. It seems like a lot of people who get into this as a hobby are looking for an adventure. Like let me give you an example. So we have this is Declaration Grooming Apogee,
Mm-hmm.
and this thing is just all neroli, salt, cannabis. It's a really filthy, briny sort of smell, but for some reason I kind of like it. But most normal people probably wouldn't, like, if you know what I mean. Or I think what pulls a lot of people into the hobby is maybe you're looking for something, a shaving soap that smells like your favorite men's fragrance. Like here is Crown and Crane. This is Norseman, and this smells like Creed Viking. Which where else are you going to get besides maybe Murphy and McNeil? Where else are you going to get a shaving soap that smells quite like that? So I think the hobbyist side of this activity that we all do every day is kind of the logical conclusion of people who kind of dip their toes in it and they're looking for a further adventure.
Yeah, totally agree. To further your comments, Ben, I think as a hobbyist speaking, you were spot on the thing about the scents and the different options that you have when you're just trying to get the job done, and that's it. Because shaving is just something that you do in the morning, just like shaving, brushing your teeth. Way back when, I just saw it like this is something I need to do either early in the morning, or sometimes if I had something I had a busy morning, I probably shave very late in the afternoon. And hopefully I did get away with it, because when someone like stands close to you, they will probably say, "Do you shave this morning?" I was like, well, you know what? I had a busy morning. There's no excuse. So I saw it more as something that you need to get through fast and quick. But yeah, you're totally right. To me, I like the hobby because first of all, the variety, and number two, scents are a powerful thing. Scents to me evoked a lot of memories from my father, my grandfather. In my side of the spectrum, Ben, I'm in love with everything Old Spice, because that's the most powerful thing and what evokes so many memories from my two grandfathers that are now passed away. And whenever and of course oak moss. My father was a Paco Rabanne user, Dracar Noir, Quorum. I don't know so everything that smells like that, I'm all over it, man. It's like, for example, when um, the wet shaving store came up with this soap to help out Bath Beach Jerry from Shave That in Facebook, and he said it was Asaro Porom, dude. I was all over it, and also I wanted to contribute to Jerry because he had some damages because of the last hurricane, and that also hit us in Puerto Rico and went all the way down to all the way up to Florida. But if if I see a product and he has a scent that I really like, I will pull the trigger. Even though I have like right now like more than 200 soaps in my den, something that I you know what, I need to get it. I need to have it because I probably will stick with this type of scents and fragrances, and probably I can trade whatever I have that I bought out of an impulse and I don't really dig for them that much. But yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah. Is he still making that? I might have to get me a puck of that because that scent sounds good.
Talk to Andy. in the wet shaving store, and I think he has something. This was done on demand. I think you had to put up an order, and then this is made by Carlitos Shave,
Right.
Frank in Georgia. So probably they have some leftovers. You might want to check because Andy was also offering. If you bought the set like in the past 2 weeks, he was offering also as a bonus some Le Mafioso pucks from ACNC. He might have something, or talk directly to Frank in Strike Shape, and it's amazing. You know that Frank does very good stuff from scent wise. So this is pretty much spot on. I'm telling you, it's
Yeah,
a nice.
admittedly, I don't have a ton of experience with Strike Gold Shave. I need to get into that. Find a scent that I can get behind. My my dad was in his 20s and early 30s during the 1980s, and so in one of the things that was in his bathroom a lot was Chanel Antaeus. You remember that?
Oh, yeah,
He was a
that's a
big
beast.
Chanel Antaeus guy. It's kind of funny. So I've been trying to find a vintage bottle of that, but so far no dice.
Hmm.
Let me ask you a question though. So let's just say somebody came to you and said, "Hey, I'm tired of this cartridge razor and goo in a can stuff. I want to get into something that's more satisfying, maybe makes my skin feel better, but I don't want to go crazy." If you were to hand them a box of stuff and say, "Stop right there, don't go any further," what would be in the box?
Huh. I well, the first thing that got into my head, um, probably something similar to what got me started, not going too crazy. I still have a couple of tubes of Proraso green and Proraso red. Probably, get him started with that, and then also give him a puck of Proraso. And I have Taylor Old Bond Street too, a Gillette Tech or a Super Speed, Gillette Super Speed with an assortment of blades, because sometimes people think that all blades are the same, and that's so far from the truth. And
Yeah, all blades are not created equal.
oh yeah, and get it from and take it from there. A synthetic brush, because some people doesn't know how to negotiate animal hair. They think the animal hair is just soaking in a little bit of water and then just start whipping away. So the ritual that we go through because of experience and trial and error, they don't want to go through that. So synthetic brush, pretty standard cheap synthetic brush, and show it, give a little bit of a tutorial, and then make it. YouTube is such a wealth of resources. So go over there, and if you had any doubts or troubles, and here's a couple of content creators, including myself, well, watch them, and including yourself too, and take it from there. And welcome to the hobby. I've done it already. So
Right. Yeah, I've done something similar. I suppose if I had to snap my fingers and come up with a starter kit that I would give to literally everybody, it would probably be a tube of Leah or Latoya, one or the other. Probably Latoya if you have really sensitive skin, Leah if you have average skin,
mm,
and the matching aftershave. I would probably throw you a AP Shave Co. synthetic brush, and then maybe a Razor Rock Mamba or a Razor Rock BBS, just
mm,
because I tend to. This is what I personally recommend. Well, like I have more people than you realize come to me and say, "Hey, I'm trying to get into this. What should I use?" Excuse me, and they say, should I start out with the cheapest stuff I can possibly find, or should I go a little bit more up market? And I always say, well, if you're serious about this and you're going to give it an honest run, then I think you need to go a little bit more up market just right out of the gate, because
mm,
the 35 $40 Merkur 34C or the Edwin Jagger DE89 and just the cheap shaving brushes that you can get online. You can get a great shave with those, but depending on what you get, it can be a roll of the dice.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
no.
versus if you go just a little bit more upmarket right away, and then you like it, you can just stop right there. Because I can tell you right now, a Razor Rock Mamba isn't going anywhere. Even if you don't take care of it that well, it's probably gonna last you longer than a chrome plated zinc Merkur razor is gonna last you. And as far as like blades, I'm not sure I would give people too much of a variety of blades. I would probably give people like a couple packs of the greatest hits. Like Astras and Gillette Platinums, maybe some Perma Sharps, a couple Wizamets. And then I
Yeah.
would say do your best to make it work. Because one of the problems that I had when I was relatively new to wet shaving was I would try a blade just once and then I either like it or dislike it and move on. Well, the problem is that the way that blade behaves has to have a adjustment period of 3, 4, 5, even 6 shaves before you can really say if it's seriously the blade for you.
Hmm.
Because I can tell you early on, I passed up good blades that when I came back around later and revisited them and was like, huh, these are actually pretty good. I don't know what I was thinking. What are your thoughts on all that?
Totally agree. Totally agree. And I totally forgot about Razor Rock's razors. I'm gonna be very honest, Ben. You hit it. You hit the nail in the head because I said the super speeds and the Gillette Techs because it's so classic. They're just classics. They worked back in the 1940s and 50s. They still work today, and with a good combination, they're fantastic shavers. But the experience of shaving with a heavy razor, such as a stainless steel razor from Razor Rock, which to me are the best bang for the buck in the business. And pairing it with a good blade, I have the Mamba 70, let me tell you, and that's a good everyday razor for me. However, uh, I have particular blade choices for that Mamba 70 that I hear other people that don't work as well. So that's why I don't recommend like, okay, I will give you this and use this blade in particular because this works well for me. And for other people, it doesn't work at all. And
Right.
sometimes it has made my experience that out of that 5-pack blade box, sometimes I get a dud and ruins the whole experience. And then I throw away that blade and I grab another one, and the shave experience is a brand new thing.
No, that makes perfect sense. The only thing I'll say to that is that sometimes, how do I say this? Very few blades that I've ever used were just extremely consistent from one blade to the next. Almost every brand of blades that I've ever used, I'd pull one out and it shaves one way, and then I'd pull another one out and it shaves another way, and then I'd pull one out and it shaves another way. And it's rarely is it bad, but there's a shave quality difference, and I think that's just what the kind of quality control you get when you're dealing with a piece of sheet steel that's so inexpensive to produce is when they run that thing through a sharpener, it's not always going to do the most consistent job from one sheet of blades to the next
Yeah.
for whatever that's worth. What about shave sticks? How do you feel about shave sticks?
Funny that you say that. I know that I commented in one of your videos from Tabac. And that same week that you pulled out that video, I went to West Coast Shaving. I rarely buy from them because when I try to get a soap and a matching splash, they don't want to ship it to Puerto Rico. It's because of the alcohol. And I have other vendors that they do ship
Right.
splashes to Puerto Rico. They think we are like in Antarctica. But they had a clearance sale and they had those tobacco sticks, tallow version, and I grab a couple, and they're fantastic. One thing I can say, and they're kind of a little bit drying to my face when I
Back?
shave with them. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, a little bit, not that much. Even though I prefer tallow soaps versus vegan soaps because the post shave effect of tallow. But in this case, I don't know why. But what I did just to fix a little bit that situation, I have a couple of empty pucks of soap. I put them through a grinder and I mixed it with a couple of tallow soaps that I have. You remember the Ariana and Evans, Pedro Fiasco pucks that Peter put out a couple of, I think last year or something.
You talking about the budget soaps?
The budget soaps.
I do remember those. Those are good. That's good stuff.
So I mixed tobacco with one of those. I think it was the pomegranate and wood.
Oh,
And
I can't imagine how that smelled.
yeah, it was like a fruit punch. It was like shaving with a Hawaiian punch. But hey,
Hey, if it works, have you tried Arco?
yeah,
How does that feel on your face?
uh, it's like shaving with dial soap. That I have
Really?
done it in the past. Yeah,
I've
I don't
I've
know why.
really I've always got a good lather out of Arco. That's weird.
Oh
Another
yeah, they
one,
they lather, man. Not get me wrong, but uh,
you talking about like as far as like smell and like post shave feel and that sort of thing?
yeah.
Yeah, I get that. It's a polarizing kind of scent. You don't gotta small talk it. If you don't like it, you can just say so. Some people don't care for it, and that's fine. What about this right here, Leah? You ever tried that?
That one in particular, I don't have. I have La Toja, but that one I don't have. Probably need to check it out.
And then some people, I would say, if you're extremely utilitarian, but you still don't want to use like foam in a can, I think most people would tend to gravitate towards a shave stick because then you can just rub it on your face and go to town. You don't need to deal with lathering into a puck. You don't need to deal with lathering into a bowl. Yep. Yeah, their soap is really good. So I think that's a shave sticks are a really good example of the most utilitarian kind of yeah, there we go, tobacco. The most
Yeah.
utilitarian kind of approach to shaving because it's just straight from the stick onto your face. There's no middle spot where you have to mess around with it. It's just on the face and away you go.
Well, I went. You know that I just came back from a trip to Denver. I just landed like 2 hours ago. Um,
How was Denver?
Very cold, and 75% of my training was in the field. So you can imagine coming from the tropics, going over there, I was like just miserable. But hey, I got it done. Um, what I as what I took for my travel shaving pack, uh, I took a tube of Proraso. Something if I lost my luggage or something happened, or sometimes you just forget stuff. It will
Right.
not create. It will not, got me thinking in the plane or in the airplane. Say, did I leave this? What? Oh my gosh! So you start having second thoughts. Well, if I leave it, I leave it. And I have a Wilkinson sword plastic razor. I don't know if you know about those.
I do.
I took one of those. I have a Parker leather zipper case or whatever. I put everything in there and good to go. And it shaved like a shot. Let me tell you, I got a pretty good shave. And I took Gillette Platinum, a pack of 5, and I shave almost every day with that. And I was like golden.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
had a decanter. This is what I take on my trips. I bought this in Amazon. Uh, I think this is 15 mil decanters. Took a syringe, took it out of the bottle, the aftershave. I put gentleman's nod, Sahara of aftershave in there, which I love very much, and that was my travel kit.
Yeah, when you're traveling, you definitely don't want to take something you're going to miss just in case it gets lost. For me personally, I'll probably, take a tube of Leah or Prorazzo, and then I've got a couple of Razor Rock razors that I frankly paid a lot less for than I should have. And so therefore, if they go missing, it's just like, whatever. And then usually Gillette Minora blades, just because they're the most consistent blades I've ever seen. And yeah, what people forget is that shaving like this is not new. Like, it's been going on for a long time, and a lot of the high quality ingredients that we put in these shaving soaps, are they good to have? Are they good for your skin? Sure. Do you need all that stuff? Not really. This is going to make you laugh. Take a guess. The shaving soap that has caused me to have the fewest nicks and cuts in my entire wet shaving journey. Just take a wild guess.
Tabak? No.
Fairly close though.
Uh,
It's Prorazzo Red.
Pro Racer Red is good stuff,
Out of
man.
all the shaving soaps I've ever used, the ones that result in the irritation or nicks and cuts the least has been Prorazzo Red. And that can't be a coincidence. Like they've got their stuff figured out. A lot of these legacy soap companies that I'm talking about, yeah, they might have a few ingredients in them that you can't pronounce, but
Hmm.
they've got the slickness and the protection figured out. So I wouldn't discount a lot of these legacy type soaps that the utilitarian shavers are more likely to use.
Take a guess, Ben. They have been, like you say, for lots of, long time, decades. So they might be doing something right, and they are used worldwide.
Yeah. Well, the Zoom countdown timer started a while ago. We got about 3 minutes left. Do you have any words of wisdom for the viewers before we get out of here?
I can summarize everything that we have talked about. Um, find out what you like. Don't be afraid to experiment. We all been there. We all been there. This is a wonderful community. If you're starting out, like I said to a couple of my friends that have started them into wet shaving, there's a lot of Facebook groups. There's a lot of people on Instagram. There's a lot of videos. Go and take a look. But this is a hobby. A hobby. Treat it such as that, a hobby. If you shave every day because you need to shave, doesn't hurt if you kick it another notch and treat yourself. There's a lot of variety out there. It's fun. Because of the hobby, I meet people such as you too. And if you don't like something, you can always pass it forward or sell it or whatnot. And hey, welcome to the rabbit hole, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one point I want to touch on real quick is that we would all love to get this right the first time. Get the right combination the first time we buy a whole set of stuff and be like, okay, that's good enough. But the reality is, for better or for worse, you're going to have to experiment with this stuff just a little bit in order to really get truly comfortable and get the best combination down, because everybody's skin is different, everybody's shaving habits are different. The biggest thing that's going to determine how your shave goes is you. You can tweak the other moving parts a little bit and make those work for you, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, you got to practice. And don't, if you cut yourself up the first couple times, don't sweat it. That's all I got to say about that.
Part
Okay,
of the
let's
journey.
let's do the frag out. I got a new one here. This one is Mancera Cedrat Boise, and this is vaguely in the realm of Creed Aventus. It's a little bit sweeter and less smoky. but it's strong stuff. If you want the greatest bang for your buck niche fragrances, it's going to be Mancera without a doubt.
So Ben, funny that you say that you were using Cedra Boise from Mancera, because I chose for tonight's frag out Loewe. I don't know if you can see it. Loewe is this is Esencia Eau de Parfum. So Loewe is a Spanish fragrance house, not a niche one, because they started out doing leather goods, mainly women's purses and leather accessories. And then and it's pretty old. So this one is an oak moss, lavender, vetiver, and powdery scents.
Ooh, I need to
That
check that stuff out. That smells good. It sounds like
oh,
it smells good.
oh, I'll send you a link so you can check it out. And it's so good, and it's very, very, very close to Crida Ventus. It's not a dupe, but has a lot of notes similar to Crida Ventus in the dry down. And it's a high performance fragrance, not that expensive, and it's very good. So let me apply and get it done.
I'm definitely going to have to get my hands on some of that, see what that brand is all about. I've seen their stuff when I was in Sevilla, but I never really put much thought into it or bothered to check them out. So maybe I need to do some homework.
I have the Essencia, the first one, and if you like Fougères and oak moss, that's an atomic bomb. Let me tell you,
I love a good
very
fougere. I'll
good.
have to check that out.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank everybody for watching. That'll be the video for today. Check out Carlitos Shaves. I will put him down here and up there in the video for you to check him out nice and easily. You just got to click on his video and take a look. He was nice enough to restart his YouTube channel for our entertainment. So do head on over there and check out what he's all about and click on. I'm sure he's got a subscribe button around there somewhere for you to click on and show your support if you're willing. Well, Carlitos, thank you for coming on the show. I do appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this. This is Soap Thing telling you, shave like you mean it. Thanks for watching.